I cannot.
That's for the frame. Well, the frame.
Yeah, that's
I
all
like
three.
the
This angle
color
better.
on that. No,
Oh,
I
the
just like
color.
the color on that. The
'Cause
color
the
is like
Samsung.
different on all.
All of them are Samsungs.
And there are different types of Samsung, so it makes sense.
I got the best one, huh?
I guess so. Well, welcome everybody.
Hi. What's going on, everybody?
Hey, everybody.
We are here again.
We are here once again.
What's up, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook?
What's going on?
I feel like you gotta say Instagram like that. You gotta say it like a.
Like country.
I guess is that country or is that?
I
don't
guess
know.
so. I guess it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Well, welcome to my channel, everyone that is watching on YouTube. Welcome. And on Instagram, yes, my channel. I'm tuned into his station. Hey. Okay. Anyway, so we are back live once again.
Once again,
We're gonna have like an official, I guess, podcast live stream type of deal.
eventually.
That is just me and Arkeem content. But right now, he is a guest on my channel, and I am soaking it all up. Pulling out of him all of the gems and the wisdom. And you guys are getting a chance to listen to some of the conversations that we have, like when we're on our road trips, when we're just...
When I get home and she gonna ask me questions.
Yeah. Like,
and she like...
What do you think about this?
Exactly.
And we just go in, and he's like, "Well, did you see this?" And I'm just like, "No." And then we just start having conversations. So we said, "These conversations are so good, we have to let other people in on them."
Have to.
So that's what we're doing. So,
Welcome.
have you guys ever heard of people saying they want that '90s kind of love, or that love like grandma and them had? Well, this is what we're going to talk about tonight.
That 90s.
What decade of love do you admire the most?
90s. We're impartial.
I like the 90s decade of love. Some people might like the 30s or the 40s or the 50s.
I don't know nothing about that.
I don't know what happened after the 60s. Okay? It's a crazy era during the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Okay?
Oh, yeah, the 70s was the love era. That was the, what's that? I always forget that something stopped. Woodstock.
Yeah,
Woodstock.
that
that was all love, dude, Peace. Everybody's, that was the thing. That was the first All Lives Matter.
Mighty codes.
Hey, God.
So this is for the women or the men who wants to stop scrolling through memes and start building real legacy of love. You guys are tired of looking at all of the people that are online. Hey y'all, thanks for catching the live stream. Okay, but we're talking about just the decades of love. You know how some people are like, I want to love like my grandma and grandpa. Given that your grandma and grandpa have, a healthy relationship, healthy marriage, they say I want a love like that. But the truth is, no one is really making that type of love known anymore. Right now, you see a lot of people, not as much, right? It's not as popular as some of the other forms of relationship goals that people have. And so I wanted to have this conversation about the 90s kind of love because, we have romanticized a lot of the things we see on TV, but there are actually people that really do have that 90s kind of love or that 50s kind of love where, you just are, not infatuated with your person, but it's like you found your person.
Yeah.
And y'all actually like being around each other.
That part.
Even when you have like difficult times, it's like, hey, we here. We locked in for life.
Yeah.
We are not playing.
Right. So if I could add this into to this intro. So when she first told me, when she's like, we're gonna talk about that 90s kind of love, and I was like, what you talking about? I was like, I don't know about that, babe. What you talking about? So I go on TikTok and I typed in 90s kinda and love pops up. So I type in 90s kind of love, and then all of these montage of music videos and movies of couples from the 90s, or not necessarily prominent couples, but just couples in movies or couples in the music video, and some actual couples, but mostly like music and videos, right, and movies. And I was like, oh yes, right. So everything just started like hitting me all at one time, and I'm like, that's yes 90s kind of love, because in the 90s it was like, it was more about intimacy and romance.
Yeah.
And we was talking about it, we was like, when did it fall off? And I was like, she said the 2000s. I was like, 2000s?
I said particularly 2005.
Hey, right up to 2005. And you wanna know what's funny? As soon as she said 2005, I was like, as soon as you said 2000s, all I thought about was Pretty Ricky, right? And that is not the kind of love that we talk about, right? And I looked up, when did Pretty Ricky come out? When did they debut their first album? And guess what year it was, y'all? 2005. So from 90s up to 2005, you know what I'm saying? When the 2000s came across, she mentioned we had Ja Rule and Fabulous. It was a lot of rappers that was still making, you know, that R&B rap, you know what I'm saying, before it just crossed over and then everything just went.
Everybody was, what they say, what the young folks say now? Everybody freaked out.
Everybody was freaked out. I mean, it was freaked out in the 90s and before then too, but it was different.
Yeah.
It was how it was portrayed. It wasn't, everything wasn't all in your face, right? Yeah. There was still some type of like
decorum.
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna say it without saying it. It's like, if you know, you know, but then after that, it was just like, I'm not even gonna try and wax or coat it with nothing anymore. We just gonna throw it right at you, and it's just in your face. Trina, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay. So
for real though, like when we think about love songs from that decade, so like the 90s up into 2000, that decade was full of love. All of the men were what y'all call today simps.
Right.
And they're simping. They love loving on women, and that's when the
I'm sorry, just that was the music
with the Drew Hill hop, where men were lover boys.
Yeah. That was the essence of intimacy and romance. Now everybody just like bend it over, bust it wide open.
The women too, and that's what's making it crazy.
That's what's making it worse.
The women are like, and they trying to be dudes like those men, but
it's nasty.
It's coming off so terrible.
Yeah.
Like we are just now kind of starting to get some people like, just, you know, if we're talking about just that secular music, people like her, and recently I heard the chorus to, I think Ella Mai, or I think her name is Little Things, and like a lot of people are saying the men, definitely
Jagged Edge. Come on, baby.
The men are singing this girl's song. It's called Little Things, and so I went and I listened to like just a snippet of it, and it was like, she was talking to the man back, like how the men used to talk to the women back then. Like, hey, honey, how's your day? Like, I'm actually showing that I'm interested in you. And so, like, the ladies on TikTok were like, this girl's song got these men in their feelings. Why? Because it is a song that is saying, hey, I still want to be in a relationship with you. I'm not pursuing you. I'm letting you know that I'm interested in you.
Right.
It's the little things that she wants to do for him. So it is a woman being a lover girl too. And so unfortunately, a lot of women that were once hopeless romantics have become very hard-hearted. And it has caused them to not want to participate in romance.
And it's the men's fault.
Yeah.
Because we started this
tip drill.
Yes. We started this, this is what I want, and this, that, and the third. And what it did was we left a lot of women being hopeless romantics, wanting a man to pursue them in a certain type of way. Wanting a man to pursue them in a certain type of way. And now we have turned women into this Sexy Red, this Glorilla, Like Glorilla rap is it like the only dudes like Glorilla because she rapped like a dude.
Yeah.
She made music for dudes. Like just. And so now you got the Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B and all of that. Like back then, the only two women that you could think about that made music like that was Lil' Kim and Trina. That was it. Most of the other music was all R&B. It was all lover music. It was more sensual. It was more intimate. It was more slow. Now everything is bam, 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 bustin', and that's all everybody. You know what I mean? Yeah. So. We created this, fellas. We made the women like this. Now we in our feelings, and we want the women to come back over here. And it's like, well, you put them out there. So
yeah, I believe too. So we know music does shape a lot in society, right? It has an influence. The entertainment system, I'll say, has a lot of influence on how people navigate things. And so we talked about it last week, but songs are inner vows. They are your inner confessions. And so I know there's a lot of men that will listen to R&B and the slow jams and all of those things, but they would never let anybody know that they did because they didn't want to be looked like they were soft or weak men. And so I believe now a lot of men are
getting back to that.
They're accepting the side of them that is soft, that has emotions. I won't even say soft, but they're just accepting the side of them that has emotions and that says, I'm actually feeling something like Carl Thomas, I'm emotional, gotta let it go, cause I'm trying to hold on.
Say goodbye.
Okay, I knew you.
Hey, I had a friend. Hey, come on.
We're not gonna act like we did not used to listen to music. Even I used to listen to all the kinds of music, and I believe even now as believers and Christians, we can listen to some kinds of music that is healthy because some of them old songs too, they was talking about a lot of debauchery, even though they were saying it slow on a nice little ooh baby baby. A lot of debauchery was going on during that time too.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not just all about the new music. The older music had a part in it as well.
So I do want to pin that before you go right in there. We do want to clarify that we're not saying that the 90s was any different nowadays when it came to debauchery and having sex out of wedlock and sleeping with multiple men and women and all of that. What we're saying is there was an essence that the music back then brought to relationships that made relationships more work better and made people more susceptible to want to be in. Because here's the fact of the matter. Women are soft, emotional creatures. Men are not necessarily that way right out the gate, right? But what the music back then was, it allowed men to tap into that emotional side and created a level of intimacy that women need. And what we're saying now is more times than not, the music that we listen to in this generation is more hard and rugged, and it doesn't allow the men or the women to operate or to sit in that soft, sensitive, emotional space to create a level of intimacy to have something that is long lasting. Because the fact of the matter is, you cannot have a successful, long lasting marriage with your partner with a whole bunch of rough ruggedness. It just won't work. I remember there was a time where you was like, there was a time where you was like, babe, you too rough and you don't do this, that, and the third. And I was like, dang, for real? And so I had to, step back and was like, listen to what I was think about what I was listening to. And I forgot to plug it in. And I was listening to a bunch of rap, a bunch of trap-like music and trap music. And so I had to go back and I had to think about the days where we used to cape on the phone. And I'll go back to those playlists where we was listening to more R&B that allowed me to tap into that side of me that allowed women that made me more sensitive and allowed me to build a level of intimacy with my wife and not just listen to all that boom 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 boom, you know. So that's what we're talking about. We're not saying that anyone was one better than the other or different or they, you know, R. Kelly. Yes, we know. We know. We're not saying that.
Woo.
We're just talking about the overall essence. And because we know music is such a powerful tool that, you know, that part.
It's influential.
It's very influential. It's very influential. So that's what we want to highlight about the conversation tonight is how influential the music was then and now, and how that has had a lasting effect on relationships and marriage. There we go.
Right. And moreover, movies then.
Yes.
TV shows. Anything you can think of it from the 90s, even like the reality shows back then, not reality shows, but like the talk shows.
Oh, yeah.
So some of the talk shows was very much so centered on this romance and love.
And not just that too, but the TV shows and the movies, especially what they show ups and downs.
Yes.
Like we was talking about Martin. Martin did not just highlight all of the glitz and glam and beauty of a relationship. It showed the highs and lows.
Yes.
It showed how men could be tapped in and how they could be with one woman. And like one thing I loved about Martin that, you know what I'm thinking about? Martin was very much, what's the word I'm looking for? He wasn't a cheater. He was, every time another woman came around, he was very much like, nope. Yeah. He did not play that when it came to, you know, and then remember, and I loved it because they showed that one episode where he was not questioning, but he wanted to feel that unforgiveness. He went to the gym and he took his ring off and he was trying to holler at the different women to see if he still had it. But he quickly realized that this ain't what I want. So the shows back there actually showed a good balance of what was healthy. I mean, you know, when it was good and when it wasn't good and what people actually go through, as opposed to now everything is just all rainbow fluff and
or it's just all bad.
Yeah,
there's no balance.
There's no balance.
What I loved about the shows is they showed like the conflict, but they also showed the resolution. There was times where, you know, Martin and Gina, they would get into arguments and debacles and all of the things like that. They would break up, spend time apart, but then they would show how they came to a resolution.
He would tuck his tail. He would swallow his pride.
Or she would do the same.
Right. So that's the healthy part about it.
Yes, about the 90s kind of love. So,
90s kind of love.
You know, it was depth and connection, and you know, it's not surface. The 90s, you know, although we had some form of technology, it was not like how the social media era is, which has played a huge impact on the health and longevity of relationships, because unfortunately social media has become a tool for the enemy to disrupt marriages. I would also like to mention they did promote a lot of healthy marriages back then too. When you look at the shows like the Cosbys and was it A Different World, and you know, they promoted
marriages and girlfriend boyfriend relationships. There was a lot of like when you think about A Different World, like they showed a balance of it all, how you could be in a relationship in a healthy way and be exclusive to each other.
Yes, and it was not hypersexualized either.
It wasn't hypersexualized.
Like they alluded to them doing stuff, but it was never in your face. Got to have the cheeks on the screen. With that being said,
okay, let's go.
Let's get right into part one. That was our grand intro, but it's all going to tie in, and we're going to move through this pretty quickly. So, back then they had covenant, not convenience, right? So Ephesians 5, if you guys have tuned into my Ephesians 5 series, you know that we talked about how the men were to love their wives like Christ loved the church, right? So how does the 90s love compare to now? What is the difference? Well, then we could use them as an example, but biblically it's covenant, right? They had an understanding of covenant even if they didn't know that that is the word that they were actually performing. And it wasn't convenient. Most of the time in those shows and those movies, it was always some form of struggle, always something that they had to work through or overcome. And so we know from Ephesians 5:33, let's go there. Oh, well, I could just synopsize it here. When God set the order of the household, being God, man, white, woman, and then of course your family or your children, he set it that way so that not for it to be a dictatorship or a hierarchy, but so that you can understand the flow in which the relationship should go. So all of those marriages or couples on that TV show, whether they knew it or not, they were in the divine order that God set from the foundation of this earth, because it just worked. And that's why a lot of people are struggling now, because you guys are out of divine order. Okay, the women want to be over the men, and the men are allowing the women to be over them. Like, come on. Or the men are out of order with God. They're out of relationship with God, so they're unable to be connected enough to know when something's going on with their woman. And so love in previous generations was really rooted in biblical order, and then cultural convenience has replaced Christ-centered commitment. So when you think about dating now, a lot of people are choosing culture or trends over truth, right? And so when we think about biblical truths in the context of dating and marriage, the reality is we are not, though we are not in the Bible times, the principles still stand today. So if you want to have a wife, you need to make sure you have certain things in place and actually be a husband too.
Right. So what she's saying is biblical order works like gravity. God created gravity. Whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, gravity still works. Ask somebody who jumped off something, right? So the order of God, man, woman, children, family, so on and so forth, that is a biblical order. That isn't something that the world just set and said, oh, we want to do it this way. And so what you have to understand is we live in a world that is, we live in a world where Satan is ruling, well, I won't say ruling, but he's roaming around causing havoc. So you have to understand that certain things that happen in the earth are demonically driven. So when you think of things like the feminist movement, it sounds good. Oh yes, women empowerment. We want women to be equal in the workplace and equal in the home, and we want equal. You were never not equal. Women were never not. God didn't create man to dominate over women. He said, let us make man. Man includes humankind, and let us give them dominion. That included women. So women were never not equal, just like when Satan tempted Eve and he said, you will be like God. They were already like God. They were created in his image. And so Satan, again, he doesn't use anything new.
That's right, because he can't create.
He can't create anything. He uses the same tactics that he's used since the beginning of time. And all he does is give you a well-timed, strong suggestion to make you think that you're missing something that you already have because you were so puffed up in pride and ungratefulness that you didn't even realize that you already had the thing that Satan said that you didn't have. And then he convinced you to go out and fight for something that was that you already had access to. You just didn't understand how to tap into it. And so through things like the feminist movement, we take women from being, and don't take this the wrong way, we take women from being the leaders of the house, not the marriage, but the house, right? Things that go on in the house. Because whether you want to admit it or not, most women are just better at men when it comes to household chores. Not saying that men cannot help, but women are good at managing those things for the man to come in and help out with those things, right? So order says that the man is normally the one that goes out and he's the breadwinner, right? It never said that the woman did not have her own money.
Period.
It just said that the man made his money outside the house. But Satan tell you, oh, you need to make just as much money as he does. Go get you a job and go fight for equal pay. Sir, ma'am, let me help you out real quick. You can make that same money at home.
When you look at the Proverbs 31 woman, she was an entrepreneur. If she did go out, it was to sell her items, her goods, or services now, right? To the merchants, and she would come back home. Men, they typically go out for more extended periods of time. Now, we live in a different day and age now where men can make money from home as well. We thank God for that. But in their nature, it is easier for a man to go outside of the home. We're talking about in the situation where there are children involved, okay? To go outside the home to make the income and then bring it home to the family. Now, if you're just a husband and wife couple, okay, both of y'all can leave the home and go to work. But when it comes to having children, it is so much easier on the family when the mother is in home. Okay, when she's in home, she's still operating in her purpose and making her own pay as well. It just flows naturally, right? Now, that does not mean that she's doing all the cooking, all the cleaning, even in Proverbs 31, it talks about the handmaiden she had. Okay, so she had help. So don't confuse, those traditional roles and responsibilities for where we are in modern times, where it's like people are like, well, we can't afford not to go to work. We get it. Have extra. You need about 4 incomes. Really, you need 8 streams of income, both of y'all, per child. That's how I see it.
Right.
Because the way this economy is set up right now, you got to have money on top of money on top of money.
Exactly.
Okay, and so God set that order so that it's a natural flow, and that's what they had back then. They had a natural flow. Everyone understood the assignment, and we're going to get into that next. So you don't need a vibe, you need a vow. Think about how many marriages are failing today because they were based on emotions and not a covenant, which is understanding. When you have a covenant, you have an understanding of what you both have come together to do, and you are not considering your emotions all the time. Okay, so part 2. So back then, they served each other. They were not selfish. So it's service over selfishness. Okay, so Bae, I want you to talk to the men on what it looks like to get a woman to want to serve you, because men sometimes may think service is, well, she cooks for me, she cleans for me, but that's kind of limited, that's kind of small. So can you talk to the people about what it means, true service, when it comes to husband and wife?
Okay, well, before you can want to receive something, you must first give it. So as the men, God has called us to lead. So if you want to be served, then you must serve. And how you serve your wife is you support your wife. And so this is going back to what I was saying before, this is balance. This is how it should look. So I may be the one that's set to provide for the family, but that doesn't mean that I can't support my wife in her endeavors to bring income into the house, whatever that may look like, however that may look like. So when she needs help with something, guess what? I'm going to do my due diligence to help her, to support her, to serve her, right? When she's not feeling well, I'm going to serve her. When I come in from work, just because I've been gone for 8 hours doesn't mean that I just come home and sit down and do absolutely nothing, especially considering we have kids. I'm going to serve. And when she sees that, dang, you know what? He just worked. He came home. He cooked. He spent some time with the kids. He helped me pick up a little bit. And he said that I ain't got to do everything around the house, but I'm helping. Now I don't have to say anything. She's going to want to naturally serve me. It's certain stuff that she do now that I'd be like, dang, okay. Like, dang, I get this. Like, dang, what I do to get that? And it's like, and I don't do it looking for her to do anything in return. Oh, let me do this so she could do that. Oh, let me do this so she could do that. No, I just do it. No, it's not transactional. I'm going to do it regardless. And it's a bonus when she returns when she gives me service, or she serves me in return and gives me service.
We can do that legally.
Hey. Okay. All right now. So the point is, if you want to be served, then you must serve. If you want something from your wife, you must first give that same thing and then allow her to give it back to you in return. Yes. Freely.
That's right. So Philippians 2:3-4 says, let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than themselves. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. So just like he said, you have to serve one another. Mm-hmm. When the Bible says submit yourselves one to another, submission was never just for the woman. Submission was for both of you.
I've been screaming this.
It is for the both of you. You are to submit one to another.
Well, I'm the only one that got to submit to him. I always got to submit. He got to submit to you too.
That's right. And that's not him being led by you, but if you're bringing something to him because you are designed to support and help, you men would be doing yourselves a great disservice by not submitting things to your wife.
Think about this like a business. Mm-hmm. If I'm the CEO and she's the COO, CFO, whatever you want to call it, how successful is a CEO if he makes decisions without ever considering his team? Mm-hmm. He would fail so fast. I say this all the time. In any relationship, you are only as successful as the people who are standing next to you. Mm-hmm. Nobody built something that was meaningful by themselves. Nope. You hear about Jeff Bezos and the guy who started Starbucks and Steve Jobs and Oprah Winfrey and Bill Gates and all of these people, but the people that you don't hear about is the people that worked with them behind the scenes, that gave them advice, that gave them counsel, that they bounced ideas off of, people that helped give them ideas. People like you don't hear about all of the people that helped them get to where they are. Right. Nobody built something on an island that was long lasting and successful. So if you want to have a long lasting, successful, healthy, prosperous marriage, God gave you the help meet for a reason. He didn't say a service meet or serve meet or do what I said meet. She's not a do boy. She is a helper. She can only help you if you bring her the things that you need, that you're trying to do so that she can help. Meaning that you need to consider her advice, consider her input, give it to her so that she can give you something back to make it better. And then you make the final decision. Okay.
100%. So
I could beat that into the ground because golly.
What he was saying too was no man is an island, right? We all need someone to fulfill purpose in this life.
Absolutely.
Okay, so God thought so much that you men needed help, especially because he made a wife for you. Okay.
If it was the case, he wouldn't have created
He would just let him do his thing by himself. Okay. So today's self-love doctrine has made people unteachable, unaccountable, and unsubmitted. Yes, we just so happen to be matching today. No, we did that on purpose. We're not, but we're coordinating too, because he has on tan pants and a blue shirt. I have on a navy blue shirt and tan in my waist shirt and my cheetah print ears. Okay, we were very intentional because we coordinate in the spirit too. Amen. Thank you for acknowledging that. So funny. So the whole self-love doctrine is really kind of selfish, right? Now the Bible does say,
come on,
love God with your whole heart, with your whole mind, with your entire being. Okay, and I'm synopsizing. And then love your neighbors as you love yourself. But the trick here is you can't love your neighbors if you don't love yourself.
And the self-love doctrine says that you should just love yourself and forget everybody else.
That's right.
That's not what the Bible teaches.
No. And so if we're going to be believers of the word, now what y'all do in the world, you have fun. You do. But for us that want to follow the principles of the Bible, we have to understand that true love, and that term there is charity, is giving to God, is giving to others, and is giving to yourself, right? But you have to give to yourself, like they tell you on the airplane. Put down your mask first if the plane is going down, and then help.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what it's talking. That is a biblical principle. You cannot help someone else breathe while you're drowning yourself.
Come on.
Okay. So make sure you take care of yourself, right? Take care of yourself, which looks like being teachable, being accountable, and being submitted. So if you're struggling in your relationships, if you are not having long-lasting relationships, it's likely because you have been given over to that self-love doctrine, and you've accepted that you are the idol, okay, in the relationship, and your thoughts, your opinions, your values, your needs are the only things that matters. You're gonna hop from relationship to relationship, and you're gonna be sadly mistaken when you find out that the common denominator is you. Everybody in the relationship can't be always doing you wrong. Okay, so are you really loving yourself if you keep finding yourself in the same relationships? Who's really the counterfeit here?
You're maybe not as good of a friend or partner as you think you are.
When you're looking at it through the lens of self-love. Well, he just violated my boundaries and this, that, and the third. Well, what did you do? You allowed him to violate those boundaries. You allowed her to violate those boundaries.
Because here's the caveat about that. The whole point of love your neighbor. Notice it said love your. It did not say love yourself then love your neighbor. It said love your neighbor as yourself, which means that you should practice the principles of the Bible. And then if you look at all of the principles in the Bible is always teaching about outwards.
Yes.
It's always outward first, right? So yes, you should love you, and then when you love you, now give out. Okay, you love you, now go help. Okay, you made some money. Okay, now go give.
And that love is not it's like I said, charity, but care also. That's another term for love there. It is the care of yourself.
So the word is phileo, which is I think it's the Latin or the Greek word. It's where we get philanthropic from. Philanthropy, which is an outward type of care and love, where you go to help people. That's the love that the Bible is talking about there. So it's not a me kind of love. It's a phileo love, where you go to help people and give of yourself for people.
That's right. And so it should be a sacrificial love that does not sacrifice you, right? Because God sent his son Jesus to die on the cross for our sins, so we don't have to self-sacrifice for others, right? But we can sacrifice some comfortability. So like sometimes I'll ask him, he just snuggled up in the bed, and I'll say, babe, can you go give me some water? Right. And he'd be like, okay. And you'll get up and do it, right? Because that's service. Okay. And so, legacy marriages that last 30 plus, 20 plus, 50, 60 years, were built on sacrifice and not selfish ambition. So these people had to have an understanding of the relationship they have with God, and then the relationship they had with themselves for the benefit of others. Okay. And so biblical love is a mirror, not a selfie. Because you're looking at self, because that's how we get a lot of narcissists, right? Because they become lovers of themselves. That's the difference between biblical love, real love, and this self-love doctrine. Okay, so you didn't marry for the marriage to serve you married to serve in it. Because I hear a lot of people say, well, this marriage no longer serves me. Ma'am, this is not a restaurant. It was supposed
to serve you. It wasn't designed to serve you.
This is not a restaurant.
It was designed to expose you.
Hello. And help you get cleaned up. Okay, marriage is designed to make you holy.
That's so funny.
Okay, and happiness is a byproduct, right? But a lot of people say that though. Like you would be so surprised how many conversations I have with people. They're like, "Well, it no longer serves me. That's why I'm getting a divorce." Well, what do you do wrong?
Serves you. You was in it for the wrong reason.
You was trying to sit down at a restaurant, and you thought that you didn't have to serve up none of this food either.
She thought she sat down at Burger King.
Yeah, what you thought this was?
She tried to turn Burger King into a 5-star restaurant.
No, baby, you got to get in the back and flip them fries if you want this thing
and you
to
want
keep
it
moving.
working. Come on,
okay.
Now.
So, you know, if a relationship no longer serves you, I want to ask you, did you get into the relationship for the right reason?
Mm-hmm.
Because if this person stopped serving, what you said was, the vow that I made before God was fake. You didn't marry for the marriage to serve you. You married to serve in your marriage, and that's the only way it's gonna last. Okay. And so ask yourself this: has the self-love movement made you unavailable to kingdom love? Has it made you unavailable to that 90s kind of love?
Yep.
Because back then, the whole self-love ideology was not even a thing, because as I take care of myself, I take care of him. As he takes care of himself, he takes care of me. We are now not needing to focus on ourselves, but we focus on each other, and so our needs get met.
That's what Paul talked about.
But that's not because we are lovers of ourselves. Okay? We love ourselves, we respect ourselves, we give to ourselves.
The goal of loving me is so that I could love me.
Right.
If that makes sense. Like, I'm not loving me for me.
No, it's for the benefit.
I'm loving me for her.
Yep.
And for the children that we produce.
Yep. And everybody else around you. Because, you know, when you don't love yourself, you know, care and give to yourself and honor yourself and have good boundaries and all those things, you become a menace to society. Every time somebody touches you, you know, you ready to snap. You ready to pop off. Well, why are you mad at us? Because you didn't make sure your joy tank was full. How are you mad at anybody else? Because they didn't give to you what you haven't given to yourself, or what you haven't gone to God to get.
Why are you mad at everybody else? Because ain't nobody call you on your birthday.
And say happy birthday to yourself.
Go have a dinner and eat and treat yourself. Like,
or be a better friend to receive better friends.
Yep.
What I realized in my life is, when my cup was empty, right? When my cup was empty, I kept looking for other people to come and fill it. But you can't look towards other people to fill your cup when only God can do that, right?
Everybody else trying to fill their own cup.
Everybody trying to figure it out. I don't listen. Some people have enough for others, but that's because they're getting it from their overflow. They're not emptying their cup so they can give to you. And that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, what you want to receive in this world, you have to put out into this world too, genuinely, authentically, because sometimes we are doing to get instead of being to have. And so if you're being genuine, then you are always going to have what that accomplishes. A lot of people say, I don't chase, I attract. Okay, so a lot of that's kind of rooted in worldly principles. But the Bible talks about what you sow, you will reap.
As a man thinketh,
so is he. So what you think about yourself is going to manifest in your life. What you put out into the world, you're going to get back into your life.
You should have what you say.
That's it.
All three biblical, all of those are scriptures, principles about you receiving the things that you put out into the world, whether it be through what you say, what you do, or how you act, how you move, how you think. All of those things affect what comes back unto you.
Yes.
So you have to have a mindset. You really have to put yourself in a mindset in life in general to always be willing and looking to see how you can serve other people and not yourself. And what happens is, if you're always looking, like, I think about this when I was working for that insurance company, even they understood the principle of, when you're coming up through the ranks, the way that you treat your leaders in this organization, when it's your time to be a leader, you're going to have people up under you that served you the same way you served your leader. So they had this mindset that show up for your leaders, push for your leaders to grow in the company. And when it's your time and you're now in that leadership position, your team will push you. That is a biblical principle. If you are always looking to serve others, you're always looking to help others, you're always looking to push others up, push others into purpose, push others into their next promotion, help them in their business, support their business. When it's your turn and you're now sitting in the seat, if you sowed good seeds, when it's your time, you will reap good seeds.
That's right.
So
If your harvest is looking like anything other than what you would like to look, what you want it to look like, you need to go back and reevaluate what you're putting out there and what your thought life has created. Okay. Amen. So part number 3, interdependence versus hyper independence. We live in a generation right now that is me. I don't need a man. And like this dude said on this one podcast, what I need a wife for, what I need a woman for. I can go hire a maid. I can hire a chef. What does a woman bring to the table? You know, they love saying that.
They love this table.
What they bring to the table. Women love that too. Table. What you bring to the table? You got a 401k.
Love this table. They love this table.
Get up from the table. That's why a lot of y'all overweight now.
Oh,
okay?
Lord.
Get up. And I'm not talking about naturally. I'm talking about in the spirit. You're backed up. You're clogged up. Your emotions are all messed up. And your eyes are so full of poop. That's why when you open your mouth, what comes out of it? Okay. Anyway.
Wait, go back. Explain that.
What interdependence
and versus hyper independence. So explain that.
So that was my next point.
Okay, come on.
Interdependence is the depending on another person, right?
Okay.
Not relying on them solely for your happiness and for all of these other things.
Okay.
I needed my husband for purpose, right? When we come together, we're operating in purpose. We push each other's purpose, right? So interdependence is the use of someone else for purpose, right? Hyper independence says I don't need anyone for anything. Like you mentioned about building a company. If you want to scale, you can scale by yourself, but if you want to scale faster, you have to do it with others. Okay. And so hyper independent says, I have the job, I have the money, I have all these things. I don't need people. Like I go on trips by myself. Okay. You've made multi-millions of dollars. Well, who are you going to enjoy that with? I do it by myself. There's so many people that have accepted this hyper independence because they've been hurt. They've been, abandoned and abused because of a lack of understanding of what it means to be in a good relationship. And so that has turned into hyper independence. Like a lot of women now, they say, well, I don't need a man. Well, you don't have to need a man to want a man.
Come on.
Like I want my husband. Okay, I tell them this all the time. Like, I want you here. Okay, I don't want you to ever think for 1 second. I tried to, baby, listen.
Okay, here we go.
I tried to put together I'm still mad about it. What was that? 4 hours? 5 hours.
5 hours.
My husband was on a trip. He was on his mancation, and I was being IENDEMP because I wanted it done when I wanted it done, right? Instead of just waiting till he got back. I tried to put together. It wasn't no IKEA shelves. It was
might as well have it.
Okay, might as well have had been doggone. But it was from it was a little bathroom thing for from Wayfair.
It go behind the toilet.
It had a ton of little pieces. It had a booklet, not a piece of paper with It had a booklet with staples down the middle with folds of several pages on how to put this thing together. Then I didn't realize. So I spent all this time trying to put it together. I'm manually using a drill to put it together, a screwdriver to put it together, and I'm like, dang, this is taking me a long time. Now, at this time, it's already 12:30 a.m.
When did you start?
I started at 12:30. I started at midnight.
Okay.
So I started at 12. By 12:30, baby got up for a little bit, so I got with her. I got back to fixing the thing at about 1. When I say I didn't finish putting that thing together until 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
And then when I went to put it in the bathroom behind the toilet, I realized that I put it on the wrong side.
It was backwards.
So it was on the wrong side. So I had to take it apart. I had to redo it all over again. At this point, 5:30, sun coming up. I'm sweating. I'm stank. And I'm sitting in there like, I bet you ain't mad at your husband ever. You better not never be mad at your husband. And I called him and I said, babe,
yeah,
I just want to let you know that I will never disrespect you. I will never, I love you. I need you in my life. And I told him what why I was saying that. He was like, dang, that would have taken him an hour to do.
If that.
And I'm not saying like that's the only reason why he's around. But when you get with the right person, they should come to make your life easier.
Yeah.
They should be an asset, okay, and not a liability. Yeah. So Genesis 2:18 says it is not good for man to be alone. Real love isn't codependent or hyper independent, it's interdependent. It says, I see your value and I need your value and I desire to have your value and I want to bring my value to you as well, and we're going to work together to have synergy. This synergy is the coming together of two things for a greater purpose. Okay, and so you can be whole and still need someone, right? Like when I got with my husband, I didn't necessarily need a man on paper, but I wanted one, and the Lord knew that I wanted to have a good husband, a godly husband, and I believe it's the same for you.
Most definitely, because that's why you here.
Okay,
that's why we here. Yeah.
The soft era is useless if you've hardened your heart. So we talked about this, I think earlier. That whole soft girl era, and it is self-love remanifested all over again. Come on. And we're not saying don't live a soft life, because when you are in Christ, your life should be soft, because if he's running the show, it should be easy for you. Like it says, take upon my yoke and my burden, it is light. Okay.
But many people use these trends as a device to fulfill themselves. I'm gonna go live my soft girl era. I'm gonna go get my nails done. I'm gonna do all of this, and this is gonna be me. And it's not that there's anything wrong with those things, but it's again the posture.
Yes.
You're not doing those things so that you can feel better about yourself, so that you can help, so that you can be able to show up for others.
Right.
You're just doing it for yourself, just so you can go back and just be, and you don't care about nobody else. And when somebody call on you to support them, I can't do that. I just got my nails done. Like, oh, I can't do that. I got to go do this tomorrow. Like when your self-care becomes so important that you're no longer able to show up for others because I gotta go get my nails done, so I can't go do that, or I'm going out to eat.
People use boundaries. They are starting to weaponize boundaries. Boundaries. Wait, no, is it really boundaries, or like, you just?
I'm a friend. Remember, I showed up for you. Like, you can't help me to do this thing. Remember, oh no, you ain't important. No, it's all about me, and how you can use people for your benefit, but you're not looking to
be of service to people.
Stop weaponizing all of this stuff. Y'all talk about toxic masculinity. This is toxic femininity. Traits and toxic femininity. It goes both ways.
Come on. And so your walls are protecting you from love, but they're also keeping you from purpose. Because when my husband came into my life and when I came into his, we were both at a place where I was at a place where I was just kind of like cool with being a hopeless romantic, right? I was like, it's fine. I'm never going to find friendship and love in one person. And so when he came along, I was like, okay, well, we cool. We friends. He cool. But then, like, the more we started to have conversation and start to connect on things, I was like, okay, I'm like, this is someone I could see myself being with. And it was less than 30 days and we were planning forever. And so my walls almost kept me from, allowing him into my life. Some people say,
tried to push me away.
Yeah, I did. I was like, listen, we cool. Like, we can just be friends.
I was Bob the Builder in the mother. She was like, Wall. I was like, sledgehammer.
Was it Fix It Felix?
Yeah, she was like, Wall. I was like, another wall.
But he helped me pull those walls down. And so I would say I did the same for you when it came to opening up to express yourself emotionally. And I know that's like a fear for a lot of men, is like, okay, if I open up to this girl, she's gonna think I'm lame, she's gonna think I'm weak, she might run away. Like, it's nothing more scarier than opening up and showing someone your wounds or whatever, and they go and put salt in it, or they go and pour lemon in it, or they go and they squeeze it while you're wounded, or whatever. It's relationships are very dangerous like that. So it's so important why
vulnerability is
people will weaponize literally anything. Like, if a person is vulnerable with you, don't turn around and use it against them. Okay. So don't let your walls protect you from love. or keep you from purpose. And then I want to ask you, do you know how to be strong and submitted at the same time? Because men and women, we both have to know when it's okay to be that strength in the relationship, and we also need to know how to pull back. So there's times where I will try to exert my strength on my husband, and then he'll be like, no, we're not doing that. And I just have to say, okay, now it don't come with a little spice to it, but I am emotionally mature enough to say, okay, if he's saying no or saying do it this way, he's saying it for a reason. And so I would have to humble myself and say, yes, I am strong, but I'm also submitted. Okay. What would you say to men that are strong all the time and, you know, feel like they're being a weakling when it comes to their woman, you know, having to be strong for them? Let's say, for example, a person is losing a parent or something, and the men are trying to wear a brave face. What is something that could help that man feel like it's not a weakness? If he's sharing his emotions or, you know, what have you.
Grow up. I really can't say it. It's no nice way to say it. It's like, if you think that being soft or vulnerable or emotional in front of your woman is a bad thing,
You're going to say gentle for the men. Gentlemen.
Grow up. If the words that I'm saying right now are triggering you, grow up. Mm-hmm. Because if you want to have a real woman who is going to stand on business, who is going to have your back, who is going to support you, who is going to do all of the things that you would want your woman to do, your wife to do, you've got to grow up emotionally. Mm-hmm. And you got to understand, this is the whole reason why we started this conversation talking about 90s music, because the men in the 90s, in their music especially, weren't afraid to cry. In their songwriting, they weren't afraid to open their shirt and show their heart. They weren't afraid to show the emotional side of themselves. Now, granted, they might have been doing it just so they can get in the girl draws. We understand that part. Some of them. But the point is that they weren't afraid to show. Like, you don't understand that. Like, a lot of y'all don't know, but a lot of the singing groups that we are familiar with in the 90s, these was thugs.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like in real life.
Like in real life, these was like the dudes that you see out on the corner slanging dope and with the gun on the hip, and they'll beat you to a pulp. And they'll come and shoot up your mama house. These was the same ones that's sorry didn't notice you there. Like, these were the same guys. There wasn't any difference in between them. Yep. But what they understood was they were comfortable enough in themselves to know that I am a 100% man, and I will stand on business when business is needed to be stood on. But when it comes to my woman, I am going to be soft in front of her. I am going to be
a gentleman.
A gentle man. I'm going to be emotional in front of her. So if you feel some type of way about being sensitive in front of your woman, all I can say to you, bro, is grow up. Yeah. Because it doesn't make you, just because I cry don't mean that I won't knock your lights out if you try me.
Okay. Because Jodeci was like that too. They was very
They was
what you said, Cry For You by Jodeci. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so don't let.
They were very much so manly men.
Yes.
And they were also lovers.
Yes. Talk to any one of them old school cats that's 50 and over that came from the streets. Like a lot of those guys, like my brother was one of them dudes. My brother will beat the stew out of you. But my brother was
a women.
But he was a lover boy and could sing. Yes. I remember my brother walking around the house like blowing pipes, like all throughout the house singing R&B music. But he was a street dude. So Like, don't conflate the two. Just because you can be emotional and soft and gentle and all of those things in one moment doesn't mean that you're not a man. If anything, it makes you even more of a man.
Exactly.
And again, if you want to be with a woman, like, you don't understand, fellas, what it does for your woman to know that you have that side. Don't get so jaded by the culture. That's the other reason why we talked about earlier with how the culture, how it changes, how it has changed, and how everything has been so rough and rugged, and you get so used to thinking that, listen, yo girl, or you might be talking to somebody or whatever the case may be that might be one of these Glorilla and Sexy Red kind of females, but I guarantee you that if you was to pull it out of them, there is a soft, gentle, peaceful woman inside of her.
But here's the thing too, a lot of those women that present that way,
that's a wall.
Because that's their profession.
That's
just their profession, because a lot of these women behind the scenes, they want to be wives.
The city girls.
They want to tell you to go run up a check on a dude and use him and all these other stuff. But at home, they're wives, housewives. They're not allowing their children to listen to their music. They're they're totally different around their children than they are in front of you. And so this is why you can't allow culture to shape the narrative
of how
you are in relationships, because what they're doing at home is what you're not seeing.
Completely different.
Okay.
And it's funny that she said that, because as I was saying what I was saying, I was literally thinking about city girls and how they was the ones talking about robbing dudes and all of this other stuff and treat dudes like this, that, and the third. And they both was married.
Or I think one of them was getting married.
And the other one was married.
Or in a relationship, something to that degree.
But the whole point is, it's like...
whole housewives, why they...
I remember it came out. They was like, wait a minute, is she married? Talking like this? And then, but then, like, on the flip side, everybody was upset with Jeezy. Jeezy was the street dude, this, that, and the third. He's like, yeah, that was my life.
Right.
But that's not the life that I want for my children. No, my son is going to a private school. No, my son is going to go to college and get a degree. Meanwhile, y'all following behind him. He's only talking about the life that he lived growing up. So don't conflate these things and let it, like, no. Your woman wants you to she want to see you shed a tear from time to time. She want to see you watch a movie and see you move with emotion and compassion.
Right.
She want to see you get out and help somebody who is less than or who is in help or who is in need. She wants to see you. She wants to see the other side of you just as much as she wants to see you be a masculine man and pick her up and pick up heavy stuff and do manly. Like you must live life in duality. And again, if any of those things triggers you, grow up.
Yeah.
Be a man.
Be a man.
Be a man.
And that segues us right into our last part. So restoring honor and roles, right? So 1 Peter 3:7 talks about husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way. Live with them according to knowledge, which means, men, you have to study her. You have to learn her. And wives, we are to submit to our husbands as is fitting to the Lord, right? So don't go against the principles of the Bible because in the name of I'm submitting to my husband. Okay.
You end up dead.
Okay, listen, I do not promote that around here. Get to higher grounds. Okay. So modern relationships suffer because people don't understand the kingdom roles like we talked about. And then women, because we have been led down wrong paths, we want to lead now because we feel like we are better leaders. But the truth of the matter is we are great leaders in some capacities. In other capacities, we are not. And this is why it's so important to know what areas are your strengths and what areas are his weaknesses and what areas are his strengths and what areas are your weaknesses, because the two are going to go hand in hand, and it's just a matter of time when they will be used. But it is not for you to use all the time. When I talk to some of my coachees and my mentees, I tell them, like, hey, I know you are dominating in the financial field and the real estate game and all of these other stuff, but when you at home,
you are not.
You need to sound like a little old church lady, a little old lady in the grocery store that says, "Excuse me, sir." Now, if it's got to be a Southern Belle, let it be a Southern Belle. I'm not telling you to change who you are. Yeah. I'm saying carry yourself in that way because I'm very much so boisterous. I talk big. Okay. Sometimes I think I'm a thug that's about 6'4". But in the realm of the spirit, I am that, okay? I'm not to be played with, and my husband gets that, but I'm not bringing that to him every time. I'm not going to be brute with him all the time because I can't be. And by nature of my calling, I can be rough around the edges, right? So I had to develop how I communicate with, stop looking at me like that. I had to develop how I communicate with him. I feel like, and you can tell me, you know, we can be honest with the people.
Come on.
I feel like I have always been very mindful of how I talk to him. My conversation has always been very chaste and pure and very wise, ladylike, right? I've always carried myself as a lady, but there were times where I would get a little crunk. I remember one time where I was literally about to get into a fight, and he scooped me up and scooped my sister up, and he threw us, not threw us literally, but carried both of us back into the house before we got into the fight. And I was ready to run out. I was ready to run back out the house and go fight. And he was like, no, sit down. And you know what I did?
She sat down.
I sat down for a second. But then she said,
but the girl was, I ain't gonna lie, the girl was talking, she was talking real crazy.
Real reckless.
If we was under different circumstances and we wasn't where, or if I knew better, I would have let her go. I ain't gonna
but in that moment, I had to allow my little lioness to come down and submit to the lion's pride. Okay. Yeah. And so, women, yes, you can lead, but it's hard to lead and then want to be loved like Christ loves the church. You cannot lead him and then want him to lead you in reverse. It doesn't work that way.
Here's the thing. Going back to the statement of gravity, right? God created gravity. It works whether you believe in him or not. You can want to, as a woman, you can want to be a leader. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you desire to lead inside of the house, you're going to always be unfulfilled and you're going to have problems. I don't care how you cut it. I don't care how you slice it. I don't care how you say, what's up, bro? What's good? I don't care how you try to, we make it work for us. There is no marriage where two people are 100% fulfilled. I don't care how you look at it. I don't care what's going on. Where the woman is leading the man, it does not work. Period. Point blank. It may look like it's working, but you don't see what's going on behind the scenes. Somebody in that marriage is hurting. And likely it's both of them. Because the woman is going to get tired of wearing the pants and the man is going to get tired of being led, and it's just not going to work.
And that causes men to not love the women as Christ loved the church.
You can't, because you're out of order. You're out of order. The God set the order for a reason. You don't gotta like it.
What the man said? He said, y'all are out of hand, women, and y'all need to get in hand.
It's like when we talk to our children. We are very firm believers in the younger siblings submitting to the older siblings and listening to them when they're telling them right. You're gonna respect your older sibling. Period. The oldest sibling, our oldest child, gets a little bit more privileges than the younger children.
Because they have more responsibilities.
Sometimes the younger children get upset because the older sibling gets to do things that they don't get to do. And I always ask them, do you want the responsibility of the older sibling? Ooh. And one of my sons said, yes, I want it. I said, no, you don't, because you don't even know what that entails. Because there are certain things, it's not just all natural. There are certain spiritual things that the older sibling is responsible for that the younger sibling could never handle because he wasn't designed to. So you could want to lead in the natural, women, but also understand if you want to lead in the natural, the attacks that are coming for the man, they are going to come for you. And it is like a man trying to have a baby. It will hurt.
That's right.
We cannot withstand the pain that women go through when they go through childbirth, because we weren't designed for that. Just like you aren't designed to lead a household, because the attacks that come on a man, a woman would not be able to handle it. Understand.
Lead the family.
I'm sorry, lead the family. Understand that Your role and your position is important, it is needful, and it is necessary. Learn how to operate in your position the best way that you can. Support the other person both ways.
Yes.
Men don't try to be the women. Women don't try to be the man. It's a reason why God created it in the way that he did.
Yes.
Like, golly, the more you try and fight the design, the more problems you create.
Ooh, that's real though. Say that again.
The more you try to fight the design, the more problems you create. Everything was made like you trying to go against God design is like you saying that you're smarter than God. You want to be God? Go right ahead. We see how that turned out in the movie Bruce Almighty. That Joker like to ran himself crazy.
He tried to do systems. He tried to do project management.
He tried to do everything that he could to make you are not capable of doing it. You're not God.
Too small.
You're not a man. I'm not a woman. And I don't want to be. Stay in your position. My responsibility is my responsibility, and I'm going to handle it because God ordained me. He created me before the beginning, before he created me to be able to do it.
Yep. At the beginning of time. And so restoration, so restoring honor and roles is what's going to get you to that 90s kind of love. What's going to get you to that grandma's kind of healthy love. Okay, we're talking about the healthy love.
Healthy love.
The healthy
not the
90s
toxic.
kind of love.
Amen.
Okay? And so restoration starts with both people dying to pride and dying to self. Right? You have to pick up your cross every day and walk and follow God. You have to follow Jesus, in his ways. He was always seeking whom he can serve and now who can serve him. He said, I didn't come to serve. I didn't come to be served. I came to serve.
Right.
Okay. And if that's the order, if God is setting the order in the household, like Christ in the church, we have to follow his principles. That pride will literally dismantle your love life with your relation in your marriage. If you want to have any form of happy relationship, pride cannot be in it. Okay. And so God didn't design marriage to make you happy. He designed it to make you holy. So that means don't sign up for it if you think it's just all going to be good sex and slow walks on the beach.
Because let me tell you, if you don't follow God's design, you ain't going to have no good sex. You can just cut that out.
Okay.
You can just cut that.
You're not going to be able to really enjoy it because you're out of design.
You ain't going to like them.
You're out of position. That's a fact. And so is your idea of love biblical or is it broken? And so we have to consider, our upbringing, our family dynamics, what is being promoted in front of us, so on and so forth. And that's going to help us to really develop a decades kind of love that our children will be able to look up to us. And that's what we're missing now too. A lot of Titus 2 relationships where we don't see many couples. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Not many couples that are exemplifying loving and lasting relationships. And so we need to highlight that a lot more than we highlight the negative ones.
Facts.
Okay. And so we want to hear from you. Drop your questions in the chat about love, longevity, and building something that lasts. Some sample questions is, how do I know if my standards are biblical or just preferences? You can answer that, babe.
How do I know Can you find your standards in the Bible? That's
your preferences.
Your preferences. Can you find them in the Bible? Like I was saying last week, we both had very, very small lists when it came to what we wanted in a spouse. And the number one thing on that list was obviously they had to be God-fearing, had their own relationship. And I had one other caveat because that was just something that I personally liked, right? That was just my thing, right? Outside of that, I believe, honestly at the time I didn't think about it, but my mindset now is, if God is the creator of heavens, earth, the universe, if he created me and he also created my spouse, if God put Adam to sleep and he fashioned Eve, and when Adam woke up and he saw Eve, he said that she was good. Here's the thing. We have come up with words that are supposed to mean better than good. We got great, we got fantastic,
Best.
We got awesome, we got superb, we got splendiferous, we got magnificent, we got all of these other words but when God created everything during the 6 days of creation, he created and he said it was good. He created and he said if it was good. So if good is good enough for God, then Adam thought that Eve was good enough for him. Then whoever God decided to fashion for me must be good. And if she is good and God thinks she's good, then she must be good enough for me. I'm not smart enough to know what I want or to know what I need. I'm sorry.
Yes, Lord.
So take your heart's desires, wishes, preferences, and all of those things, even your non-negotiables, submit them to God. Take them to him take them to him in prayer and fasting, and seriously commit those things to God. Lay them at the altar and say, God, here you go. This is what I think. This is what I feel. This is what I want. But at the end of the day, your will is better for me than my will. Give me what I need. And God will prune it. And then some of those things that you care about, you won't care about anymore. He'll take them off your mind, take them off your list, and just trust the process that whatever it is that God brings to you, that it will be good.
That's right.
Enough. Or good. Just good.
So line it up with the word of God.
Period.
Okay. If you can find it in the word, then you can have it in your world. And so any other questions y'all can drop in the chat, but carrying on to the next one, what if I want love but I don't trust people anymore?
Get some deliverance.
Yeah.
That's just as simple as that.
Need some inner healing and deliverance because
you got to be able to trust people.
That's the foundation of any good relationship.
In life.
You know?
You want to have a successful career, you got to trust people.
Yeah.
You want to have a successful business, you're going to have to trust people. You want to have a successful marriage, you definitely going to have to trust a person because you're going to have to be able to trust the person that you lay next to. Right. You want to have kids, you're going to have to trust people. And trust the God and people. There you go. Yeah, as always, they carry that because the Bible says, "Put your trust in no man."
That's right.
So we came up with this saying some years ago that we trust the God in you. So if I can't see God in you, I don't trust you.
That's it. That's why that word trustworthy.
Yes, you're worthy of trust.
You're worthy of trust.
And the only thing that makes you worthy of trust is your submission to the Most High.
That's right.
Outside of that, you could be a great person, awesome person. Everybody can speak really great things about you. I don't trust you.
Trust as far as I can throw you.
I don't trust you because you could be. Because here's the thing. Jesus asked Peter something. Who do you think I am? And Peter answered that he said that you are the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, Son of Man, right? And Jesus said, "Oh man, only God could have revealed this to you." And then very next statement, Jesus said, "I gotta leave." And Peter was like, No, get thee behind me, Satan. So just as quickly as you can be in the spirit, you can be out of the spirit. This is why the Bible says, trust no man. That's right. Because as good as a person is, they can be good today and then they can be on the other side.
Yes. And 100%, you have to walk in the spirit of love. You have to walk in love, which is walking in the spirit. And in the spirit is walking in spirit. In the spirit, there is forgiveness, right? You have to forgive people. You have to let go. You've wronged somebody. So let's not sit here and act as if you have not. And then what if, what if my idea of love is shaped by brokenness I've seen? So same thing, get deliverance, get healing, get a coach, get a counselor, a therapist, somebody.
Talk it out.
Unpack those issues. Allow yourself to feel, deal, and heal so that you can move forward. Because if you keep stuffing stuff down, then you're not going to be able to get to that next level of love, the relationship. And so,
compartmentalizing is only a temporary solution to a problem. It is good to be able to compartmentalize because sometimes in the moment you can't deal with that thing. So you need to know how to take that thing, put it in a suitcase, close it temporarily, get to a place where you're safe and then you open that suitcase and then you can unpack and deal with that thing. So
so good. Because a lot of men do that. They compartmentalize, but they stay
compartmentalize, and then you keep compartmentalizing, and then you got to think, you got to figure there's only so much storage space that you have. Ooh. And if you've ever had a computer and if you've dealt with and you put too much stuff
on your iPhone users know.
I don't know about iPhone, but I know my Samsung, my Samsung. If I reach the capacity of the memory on my Samsung, on my phone, or on my computer, it starts to slow down. It starts to run a little funny. It doesn't operate at its highest function because it's full. So you have to go through. There's this thing called debugging. I won't explain that all the way out, but it's debugging, and there's something else, and then you have to delete some stuff. You have to go through, clear your cache. You have to go through, and you actually have to delete things that you don't use, that you don't need anymore,
in your storage,
in order for the computer to be able to run better. So if you want to have a better function in life and mind, you have to go in and uncompartmentalize all of those things that are in your suit, that are in your mind and in your life, so that you can be able to function and deal with all of that stuff.
Because your mind is a system. Your ideology, your brain, your heart, they're all systems, right? Your organs, they're all systems. And so we could go into a whole other lane there, but maybe we'll pick that up next week. But to have that kind of ideal type of love, like a 90s kind of love or a decades kind of love, you really have to clear your old system and get an upgrade on what love really is.
Okay, we'll say this one thing real quick. I'm sorry, you just said that. This is why you notice that people who go out and who study a lot of different religions, people who go, and I'm talking about like really in depth, like they go to China, they go to where all of these religions originated. These people usually lose their minds because you cannot have all of that information and not know how to deal with it. You have to be God led to go on that type of information journey, because you get a information overload. You deal with all of these supernatural things, and your brain doesn't know how to handle it, and it literally causes people to go crazy.
What they call a mental breakdown.
Yeah,
the system will literally crash.
Yeah,
and you're supposed to do something with all that information, whether it's teaching somebody or applying it, writing a book, whatever.
And most people get it and they sit crazy.
No good.
Okay.
So how do you reignite the 90s love in your marriage if it's been heavy metal? But no, Jesus Christ. No, I get you.
Ooh.
I would say, how do you reignite that 90s kind of love is by bringing that atmosphere back into the house.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So maybe dressing like the ladies did back in the 90s. I remember a friend, she was like, black girls don't wear blush. And I was like, well, I do. And so I've just been doing things for me personally that brings me into I don't want to say the spirit of the 90s, because people get weird with stuff like that, but it brings me into the atmosphere, the essence of what they embodied back then. In the 90s, a lot of the women were very dainty, and even if they were very strong, simple beauty, right? I don't have a ton of makeup on right now. I don't find myself hiding my natural hair under wigs and different things like that, but if I want to put one on, I'll put one on, right? And so sometimes when you're at home, you got to put that stuff on, and whatever you are listening to on a regular basis is what you're cultivating. And so he mentioned earlier in the live that it was a season where all he was listening to was really trap music, even if it was Christian rap music. Just really, it kind of make you like that, so it makes you hard, right? So it's hard to have that 90s kind of love in essence if what you're listening to, what you're consuming is constantly heavy metal, right? So don't ever negate your ear gates and your eye gates, right? And so if you're watching TV shows that's all about horror stories and narcissism and My Crazy Lover, I know I used to watch Snap back in the day. Okay, I know a lot of women, that was like our thing. Why do we like true crime things? And then what tends to happen is we start to adapt that mentality, and we start becoming very fearful of our lovers that, oh my gosh, one day he might do this and I might have to put some of them snap principles into play. And so what you're constantly rehearsing will be, as a man thinketh, so is he. So if you want that kind of genuine love, that notebook kind of love, you can literally create it. You have to create it together, right? And so maybe your spouse is not on board with trying to get there and they're not romantic. You take the initiative. Men or women, you take the initiative to pour that kind of love on them. Study up on love languages. Study up on forgiveness styles, communication styles, learning styles, and start to play into that. You don't wait until your spouse makes the move. You make the first move. And so when we were rekindling our love affair, if you will, I started to do some things that motivated him to start doing some things. I remember around my birthday, I was like, I bet you I can outgift you. And of course I won because gifts are my love language. So naturally I would.
I competed though.
Yeah, he did.
I competed
he came
though.
in the race. Okay, he got in the race. He played. That's all that mattered to me.
But she's
but I won because But that's how I receive love. So I'm gonna know how to give it, right?
Yeah.
But he, after I made the initial, he responded, right? So there comes a response. And so sometimes in certain seasons, you might have to you should always be giving 100% anyway, but you might be giving 100% for 3 months. And then there might be some time where you're only giving 20, but then your spouse comes in and gives 100%. The point is what you would like to see in your world. For one, find it in the Bible. So we got the story of Ruth and Boaz. We have the story of Rebecca and Isaac. Those are all love stories that we can glean from and watch how they carried themselves and how they spoke to their spouses, so on and so forth, and create it. Anything you don't have, by the grace of God, you can create. So set the atmosphere. Make your home feel nostalgic if you want to. Have candles. Put flowers up. I bought myself like skirts and dresses, and before I used to walk around the house looking all homely.
Yes, homely.
I looked like I was the maid.
Yes.
Like, are you the wife or are you the maid? Now I understand. I understand now why back then they used to wear the dresses
the moo-moo.
houses. I'm not wearing a moo-moo around the house.
I'm buying you a moo-moo.
I'll wear it.
I already got it in the
but
car.
It's not gonna be around.
It's already in the car.
I'm fine with the moo-moo, but what I'm saying is, when he's not home, I need to do things that's going to elevate and uplift that in me, so that when he does get home, it'll ooze over.
I reap the benefits.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my thought process on that. Sometimes, I used to work in manufacturing. Keith hitting this mic. I used to work in manufacturing. If you don't know what that is, if you ever watch how it's made and you see how like a lot of the food things are made and just different stuff, I used to work in that industry where heavy machinery and all of that type of stuff, right? These machines have what we call set points. So there's different adjustments you can make at different places in the machine to help it run more smoothly, okay? What happens is you got different shifts, right? So the company I worked for at the time, we had 4 shifts. You had a day and a night shift, and then you had what we call a swing shift. So everybody worked every single day. It's just on alternating weeks. So you got 4 different sets of people operating the same set of equipment all the time. What happens is you make an adjustment, they come in, they may be running a different product, they make an adjustment, so all of these adjustments get made. Over time, the machine gets so far out of whack that it starts to just mess up. It's just constantly messing up. And you're making adjustments, and it still just keep jamming up. You're making adjustments, and then it went from jamming here, now it's jamming over there. So then you try to fix this, now it went from jamming over there, now it's jamming in both places. And then it gets so far out of whack that you got to say, okay, you know what? Stop the line. And we would literally stop the line. We had this book called the Center Line book. We would open the book up and we would set everything back to 0. Now what happens is when they created that equipment, this was the center line. But 10 years later, that center line doesn't necessarily work. You have to make adjustments. But when everything gets so far out of whack, you got to go back to the 0. Start the machine slow, and then you make small adjustments until you get the machine working back right. I said all of that to say, when you've been in a relationship with somebody for a long time, you've done things that to fix a problem, and it may have worked for a season, and then you change and now it no longer works. Then you try something different and then it didn't work. So you try something different. That worked, but then it doesn't work. And you start doing all of these things, and you within yourself, you get so far out of whack that number one, you don't even know what you like anymore.
Yeah.
And number two, you don't even know what your spouse or your significant other likes anymore. So sometimes you have to do a hard reset. We've had to do this in our marriage about 2 or 3 times where we say, you know what? I don't know you anymore. Respectfully. You don't know me anymore.
Yep.
Let's start over.
Yeah.
Literally, let's start over. Hey, how you doing? What's your name?
Ashley.
My name's Akeem. Can I take you out?
I don't know. She give my number though.
And we start from there. She took it further than I
I'll
was
go
ready.
out with people. Like, you
And
don't
so-
have to.
We literally had to start over, and we had to have a hard conversation. Say, you know what? We don't know each other anymore, and I'm gonna act just like I don't know you, but I'm gonna get to know you over again.
Yes.
And now we had a chance to rebuild
Yes.
what we had. Now, obviously, you still know this person.
But this is where we say dating should be reserved for marriage. Because go out on dates. You after you've had like a big thing happen in your marriage, whether there's a loss of a parent or job hardship, whatever, you have to relearn your spouse over again.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna always be learning your spouse over and over again, times a season. That's why dating is important. And so when you get off that date, then you can come home and have guilt-free sex.
Right.
Okay, that's gonna help the two become one.
Schmecks.
Okay, I see what I see.
I'm just saying, 'cause that's
But yes, so the point is learn each other.
Yeah.
Never stop learning each other. Never stop fighting for the romance in your relationship. Be willing to initiate. Turn on the music in the house,
Yes,
the love songs,
yes.
and
Create an
pull your
atmosphere.
men, pull your woman, and just start dancing with her.
Yeah,
Make
yeah.
sure you keep a mint in your mouth, okay, men and women. You want that romance to go? Could you imagine being all up in their face
And it
then
don't smell
smells
good?
like cow manure? Like,
Nah,
come on, guys.
yeah.
Do the things that you would do when you were trying to pursue them in the first place,
Yes.
or when you wanted him to pick you in the first place.
And that's the beauty of doing a hard reset is
Mm-hmm.
now you get to go into the hard reset. You know how you say, like, I wish I would have known this
Right.
now, like 10 years ago.
but
The
now you
beauty
know.
of the hard reset is you already have the information now. Now you get a chance to re-implement those things in your marriage now. So you get to create something new in a relationship where you already have a rapport.
Right.
So if it was something, if music was the thing that you did, guess what? Now you get to set that. You know what? I don't like that no more.
Yeah.
I like this kind of music now. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like that. Let's do this now. And so you get to
Give each other the freedom to evolve.
evolve,
together,
right. And do those things like light the candles.
Yeah.
Start getting the kids to, bed earlier if you have kids. Play music throughout the house. Like,
Just some no diddy oil.
get you some No Diddy oil
And just spray it all over.
and just put it
Hey,
it
it was on
everywhere.
the
Yo, wait, pause for a second. Wait, pause. Wait.
I'm sorry.
As horrible as that was, right? It's get you some baby oil.
Baby oil gel if you want to do a real good
And if you
massage.
and when I say get you some I want to say some throwaway sheets, but some throwaway sheets. You ain't gonna throw them away. You gonna wash them, right? But get you some sheets, lay that joint on the
That you don't care
bed,
about.
and just go buck wild crazy with the baby oil, and
Have fun.
like get you call your cleaner lady afterwards. Like the next clean it up.
Do it right before your Sunday
Them
reset.
jokers said they had baby oil in the curtains, y'all. Like put baby oil everywhere and just have you some fun. Like you are married. The bed is have you some guilt free. Just
Unashamed.
undefiled, unashamed. Just go for it. But like, just be like, whatever. You know what? You got to do something. If you want something different, you got to do something different. And sometimes you just got to go out there and just do something real wild that make both of y'all be like, whoa, wait. I wasn't ready for that either. Like you weren't ready. I wasn't ready either. But you know what? We here now. Oh Lord, I wish I could tell y'all some stuff that we tried. Like,
okay, listen. For all you engaged and married couples, we are having a marriage conference next year,
and we'll tell y'all. We'll tell y'all about. I mean, we done tried some stuff. You hear me? But you know, but you don't know what's funny. Just like we laughing now, we laughed. I mean, cackled because it was funny. But we had fun.
Yes,
it was a night. It was nights to remember. But you gotta just get out of yourself, get out of like just everything, and you just gotta go for broke and just do it, man. Like
that's the beauty of having like a covenant, right?
Yeah,
like, you're gonna come to this person unashamed, like you can be authentically yourself, and like, hey, I want to try this.
You know what I was thinking about?
Yeah,
I was thinking about
this. They're
gonna
say yes or they're gonna say no, and then you go with the flow from there.
Hey,
listen,
we here now. Amen.
All right, and that's how you build a decade's worth of love.
Amen.
Okay, so I want to encourage you all to like and share. Save this live. Share it with somebody else that needs a good laugh and needs a reminder that the 90s kind of love is not just a romanticized idea, but you can actually have it. There's tons of older couples that we know of that still chase their spouse around the house, wanting to pinch on their butt and wanting to, dress up cute for them. That love is still active and is going around.
And they're old.
And they're old too.
Seasoned.
And so maybe our next series will be talking to
we'll get some
of our people together. Surround yourself with people that are promoting healthy marriage. Watch things that are promoting healthy marriage. Learn from these shows.
Stay off of Love Island. Golly, man.
A lot of these shows are just married at first sight.
Setting y'all up.
I like Married at First Sight because it's good for people science, if you will.
Yeah.
But I don't like the concept of it because it's creating more divorces than it is healthy marriages. But anyway, be mindful of what you're intaking, who you're listening to, your posture, your position, all of the things. I want to invite you to join our my email list, so that when the marriage conference does come, you can get the notification. But I do want to let you wives and wives to be know that there is a conference just for us that's happening October 11th in Atlanta, Georgia. It is going to be fire. It is called the Mrs. Conference. Okay. Me and hubby might have a little small segment there. I don't know. But it's going to be a good girl time. The early bird tickets are open right now. And when I say space is limited, it is limited because we want to make sure that we keep it intimate enough so that people can get the transformation that they need. And so, sis, if you're serious about love and legacy, if you're serious about that 90s kind of love like grandma and grandpa had, but it was built off of, external things, this kind of love is going to be built on the word of God.
Amen.
Okay? You need to be in the room. That's the only way you're going to that's one of the ways, okay? You can get in your word and have it too. But one of the ways that you can develop that love is by getting in the room at the Mrs. Conference, October 11th. This year, okay, Atlanta, Georgia. We are going to see you there. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. And I want to say thank you to my hubby.
You're welcome, babe.
Next week, we'll be back live on Monday, by the grace of God. And after that, we'll see where this goes. Journey takes us, you all. But we love you all. Thank you for joining the live stream or catching the replay. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe or share so that someone else could be not just a hopeless romantic. We want you all to be hopeful romantic so that your hope may be full. Yes. Amen. Talk to you all soon.
Good night.
Bye.